Who is Hamlet? Hamlet is a turbulence of human emotion. His thoughts and feelings are an overwhelming mix, similar to that of conscious stream of thought, on how fast our feelings can change. It shows how we can get stuck on one thought, like killing his uncle, yet how our actions constantly contradict our mindset. It's with these emotions and acting that Hamlet becomes a very relatable character because most of his obstacles come from himself and his main characteristics. Sadness, affected or characterized by sorrow and happiness, causing gloom, depressing, dark-hued, and somber.
Hamlet is reflecting back to his father's death. Nothing in the world makes sense to him anymore.
Hamlet is depressed. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world.
His mother's lack of remorse for his father's death. How could she move on so quickly, especially to his uncle? The feeling of remorse and minor disgust manifests within him.
Frailty, thy name is woman.
A little month or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body.
Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she,
O God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer.
married with my uncle.
My father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules.
His mother's actions, it causes an internal conflict of disgust.
Hamlet is vengeful.
Vengeful, to inflict punishment in return for injury or insult. Vengeance.
Angry and disturbed, Hamlet's life now revolves around getting back at his father, trying to capture him and forcing him to confess his crimes. Hamlet is driven by madness and honor for his father. Hamlet lacks the skills for action. He prefers mind games and tricks. He puts on a play to get his revenge but stays away from straightforward confrontation.
Hamlet is a coward.
Now might I do it, Pat, now he is praying, and now I'll do it, so he goes to heaven, and so I'm revenged, that be scanned.
A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, to this same villain send to heaven.
Why, this is hire and salary, not revenge.
He took my father grossly full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flesh is May.
And how his audit stands, who knows, says heaven?
But in a circumstance and curse of thought, 'tis heavy with him, and am I then revenged?
To take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage?
No, upsward, and know thou a more horrid hint.
When he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed.
At gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes.
Spite, yet cowardly. One who shows fear in the face of danger or pain.
Avoidance.
Hamlet has been avoiding his rite of passage since the beginning, so sunk in debt that the idea of taking life makes him fearful that he must take part in living.
A thought which quartered hath but one part wisdom, and ever 3 parts coward. I do not know why yet I live to say the things to do. Still I have cause and will and strength and means to do it.
But now that Hamlet has seen the soldiers of Norway,
Everything has changed.
They fight for a king in a war that will win them no farmland, no profit, nothing.
Yet still the men fight.
both killing and dying without question for their king.
The imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame, go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot, wherein the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tome enough and continent to hide the slain. This is how Hamlet becomes noble.
The soldiers know their place. They make up the body of Norway and will follow their king, like their head, wherever it steers, trusting it does right by them.
So too does Hamlet act as the body of his father.
But he continuously restrains against the voices of his father, whispering in his ear.
With a new understanding of his duty and his place in Denmark, he sets out to finish his long-awaited task. From this time forth my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth!
Love, a profoundly tender and passionate affection for another person, a warm feeling, a sexual passion, desire, when one is beloved or a sweetheart. but lust, an intense sexual desire or appetite, uncontrolled or illicit sexual appetite.
Throughout the play, Hamlet is conflicted with love and lust. He values love and detests lust. Hamlet is willing to marry Ophelia, yet he would curse the dowry.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this play for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell, or thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell.
The reason why he has a problem with his sexual nature is because of his mother. He is angered at the fact that his mother is sleeping with his uncle, and thus he hates lust, because his mother is lust for his uncle, and he does not want his love for Ophelia to turn into lust.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an esteemed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
And in the end, we still question, who is Hamlet? Is he just a sad person? A character full of vengeance? Is he just a teenager in love? Or is he the king?